Are your people working hard but not reaching their full potential? The problem is not effort, it is development. At the Modern Observer Group, we transform workforce development into real performance. Our human-centered achievement programs help your team think better, communicate stronger, and execute at a higher level. That means higher employee engagement, stronger leadership, and measurable results across your organization. If you want a workforce that performs, leads, and delivers, it is time to invest in your people. Visit modernobserver.com and discover how the Modern Observer Group helps you build a workforce that wins.
Simple questions for 100 people. Welcome to the experiment. I'm Bill Carell, and this is my investigation. My research project to gather from 100 beautiful human beings for the sole purpose to find out what actually happens in the interviews. The questions are fixed, and all the interviews are the same, except the people that I'm interviewing. So it's kind of if I'm inviting you, Erin, to come sit on my porch and, I can learn about people by having a conversation with you. Okay. So I'm looking forward to what we're going to find when we're done with all these interviews.
I am too.
I don't actually know what it's going to be, but it's my distinct pleasure never mind. I'm going to let you introduce yourself. What is your full name?
My full name is Erin Elizabeth Donahue.
Erin Elizabeth Donahue. So what can you tell me about that name? Okay. Who did you get it from? And
This is a good story.
okay.
So, had the story I've been told was, had I been born with blonde hair, my mother was going to name me Sarah. Well, I wasn't, and I think she was kind of wanting that name because she wanted to name me Sarah, but I was all the brunette that I am. So she chose the name Chelsea. And my grandmother, who is from County Cork, Ireland, was quite opposed to that because I think Chelsea was a neighborhood that she wasn't very fond of. So she named me Erin, and Erin is used in most literature to represent Ireland. Yes. So Erin means Ireland. Erin go bragh, Ireland forever. So that's where I got that name. Elizabeth is a family name. So so is Mary, Elizabeth, Jack and John, things like that. Really typical name.
Yeah, and it's quite usual for it to be Jackie and Johnny and Bill.
Yeah.
Handsome Billy and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a sign of respect to add the Y at the end. What's your favorite nickname that most people don't know about Erin?
I remember thinking about this question last night because I've never really had a nickname. There's not too much you can do with Erin. But I did realize that there are two that stood out to me. My father calls me E.
E?
He just says E. And then someone I loved very much used to call me Baby Girl.
Baby girl. That's sweet.
Yeah.
How'd that make you feel?
Like a baby girl. It made me feel good.
Understandable. And those are the pet names or the nicknames that you can recall right now. Thank you.
Yeah.
So when did you first notice what color hair you had?
I understand when I thought about this question. I guess I really didn't ever consider what color my hair was until I was probably in high school.
Yeah.
And I started to experiment with different colors. But now when I look back at photos of me as a child, it was this color. It was a deep, dark Albany brown.
Nice.
And I've been other colors. And I can tell you one that doesn't work with me.
What's that?
Blonde.
So
awful. I look awful as a blonde.
I can't imagine that you look
No.
awful anyway.
Well, I digress.
That was me, by the way. What's your favorite thing to do to intentionally waste time?
I go to the thrift store. It's twofold. I can do it anytime I want to, especially when, like for us, for people who live here, I'm in Willimantic now, but in this part of Connecticut, you go to where your appointments are. You make sure all your appointments are in the same general vicinity.
Yep.
And there should always be a thrift store in that general vicinity.
That's
And
your
so
anchor, right?
yeah. And I love it because it's also a passion of mine. So it's not, some people would think it was a waste of time, but it does serve that purpose, but I also love it.
So what would you say is your best find in a thrift store?
That leather chase lounge.
Yeah.
But also this table and chairs, that glass holder, that lamp, you name it. I'm surrounded by things that were once somebody's trash.
Yeah. That leather chaise over there, if you are not familiar with it, back in the 50s, there was kind of a, rebirth of old style Egyptian sort of, lounging seating and that sort of thing. So what you've got is an angular back that sort of moves into a little bit of an up, and there's many different ways to curl up on that thing. And when I was 16 years old, I used to babysat for somebody who had one of those that was covered in plush green.
Oh, wow.
I
Yeah.
promised myself that when I got old enough to be able to afford it, I was going to have one of those too.
Mhm.
So that's really cool.
It was a gorgeous find.
What would you say is kind of like the smallest sort of object, but really cool that you found it?
That I have found while I was thrifting.
Yes.
I mean, they're just looking around right now. I'll give you an example. Just because I'm looking at it. I was thinking of my sister Christy. I saw something that made me think of her. And so it is this right here. It's made by Primitives by Kathy, but it says, "I love that you're my sister." And I love that I get to find things and I give them to the people that I thought of immediately when I saw the object.
Very sweet. Very
Mhm.
sweet. I'm not done with thrifting. How much of your leisure time would you say you spent thrifting?
65%. If I were to be honest.
And the truth is, what I know this about you because we're friends. You get dressed to the nines to go out into the world and go look for precious treasures, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And in the area, how many different places do you go to? You don't have to tell us what they are or where they are.
No, that's okay, because there's one main, I have visited from here to Hartford and Rhode Island. All of them are great, but where I have found the majority of my treasures over the last 4.5 years, because I've been back in Connecticut that long, there is one particular thrift store, and it's in Killingley.
Nice.
And it's very large, and I go there 3 or 4 days a week, and I can go weeks without finding a single thing. But because I go so consistently, they're bringing new stuff out all the time. And yeah, that's how I found this Craftsman couch. Craftsman is a brand, and their love seats start at right under 2,000. And this had just been brought out onto the floor. The slip cover was just thrown on top of the pillows.
They didn't know what they had.
I immediately went, "Meow," and I got it for $50.
Oh my goodness.
So it's things like that. The same with the Chase Lounge.
Life is good.
It's going consistently, and that's when you find your greatest treasures, ones that nobody else has seen yet.
Well, I would never compare my thrifting experience to yours in any way, shape, or form. But back in the day when we were living in Florida and my son-in-law and daughter were living with us,
Mhm.
they were avid thrifters. And so we would hit all of the spots in about four different towns in Florida, in Central Florida. There were literally thousands of things to look at,
Mm.
you know, and they always came home with some really amazing stuff like you're
Yeah.
saying. And so Janet and I started going too. And for a period of time, all of the shorts that I wore came from that type of a store. So
Oh, yes, absolutely. No,
yeah,
you're speaking my language.
there you go. So that's neat because it's kind of self expanding, and at the same time other people might consider it to be wasting time, but I don't think you do really.
I don't. I don't.
Okay.
Time well spent.
Okay. What's your favorite movie to watch alone?
I was thinking about this last night, and so I have to go with the first one that popped in. That's the one that wanted to be heard.
Yeah.
I think. The Devil's Advocate.
Beautiful movie.
Oh.
Absolutely.
I bet you I've seen it 50 times and I can watch it over and over again.
Yep. Never let them see you coming.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Pacino was a great devil in that, wasn't he?
Somebody interviewed him about that, and the thing is, the majority of when he had his big scenes, like especially when Keanu comes back to him and everybody, it's in the final scenes where he blows up behind him, that whole barrage was all ad-lib.
Yeah.
It's just because he embodied who he was. And the greatest thing the devil ever did was make us think he was alive.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord. We'll be on that one for a long time, but
Yeah.
I kind of share your interest in that. I probably only watched it 7 or 8 times, but I mean, tour de force performances, especially by Keanu Reeves and
Yeah.
Al Pacino. So I like this question for you, especially you in particular. If you were to have an action figure made of you, Erin, what superpowers would it have and what colors would its uniform be?
Colors would be my favorite color combination, which is actually the combination of the colors in a turquoise stone. So any shade of turquoise blue, because there's so many different ones, and any kind of beigey brown, because there's so many different tones, but that's my favorite color combination. And so it would incorporate both of those,
Awesome.
the turquoise and the beige.
Well described.
I
And what would your superpower be?
that I you know, for me to be able to transfer my eyes for a moment to somebody else and give them a moment of seeing what I look at when I'm looking through my eyes and what I see.
That's beautiful.
Because it's all art. It's all art to me.
And I didn't hear you say giving it to blind people, just to someone else so they could see what you see.
Mm.
That's amazing.
I just thought of that right now at this second. So.
Absolutely. We'll move on. What did you want to grow up to be when you were 5 years old?
To answer that honestly, I can't, because at 5 years old, I was trying to navigate a world that adults had created for me.
Yeah.
So I wasn't thinking about my future. I was thinking about getting through the next day at 5. So.
Well, you know what?
But I do know this, and this is the up part of that.
Yeah.
By the time I was in 6th grade, I realized my mother had kept all of the art that I had ever done, and I found a box of it. And I realized that I wanted to be what always came naturally to me, an artist.
Yeah.
So I knew I already was, I knew that's what I was going to do. But I'm sure I had, I don't know. I'm sure I had bigger ideas, something silly.
Of course you
You
did.
know, I did want to be an actress. By the time I graduated high school, I was on that track.
Yeah. So were you doing art when you were 5?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My kindergarten teacher, true story, my kindergarten teacher um, pulled my mother aside and told her when I was in kindergarten, my mom said, she's an artist and you need to just let her go with that. She's going to be different. And boy, am I. I lived up to it.
I love it. And your mom was on your side, it sounds like. Yeah, that's good stuff. What is your greatest accomplishment?
Forgiving myself
In what way?
for all the versions I used to be.
That's really interesting, and I think it might be insightful for some folks that are listening to us.
Mm.
Was there a time when you just basically took stock and said, maybe I haven't been who I truly am for a minute, maybe not for a long time, maybe not ever?
Well, I think I've always been who I was,
Right.
but who I was in survival mode and who I am outside of survival mode
Yes.
through living with intention. And I I see those versions of myself, every beautiful change. But when I truly forgave myself for the things that I didn't know better at the time, I know better now. So I do better.
Yeah.
And life is better because of that.
Absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked that quote.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's true.
Yeah. Forgive yourself for what you didn't know before you knew it.
Yeah.
You know?
I do know. How could you know? Yeah.
Exactly. Who is your favorite person to listen to?
Mm. That is a really good question. And I had not come up with an answer. So, um, I suppose I could say one of my favorite voices. I love Chris Cornell.
Yeah.
His voice.
Untimely death, but
Yeah.
a star. Yeah.
And really the sound. There's a few people in my life that the sound of their voice was music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I just recently came across something where Chris Cornell and Muddy Waters did a recording together.
No, that must be amazing.
It's absolutely
I'll have to
fantastic.
check it out.
I can't remember the song that they did right now,
Mhm.
but it was one you wouldn't expect for either one of them.
Yeah,
And
those are some of the best collaborations.
absolutely. So here we go. I'm going to start a sentence and you finish it, okay?
Okay.
When I grow up, I'd like to,
Be doing what I'm doing exactly right now.
okay? Can I infer from that that you are grown up?
Not yet. But when I do, I want to be doing this,
Okay.
living this life.
It's a good life, isn't it?
I am living in luxury.
Yeah.
And I don't mean just what's around me. I'm living in a luxurious life.
So there's power in what you're saying. And I'm going to ask you a couple more questions while we're on the topic. I think you're one of those people that I know, like me, we spend less than we make.
Yes.
We don't make a tremendous amount, but what we do make, we manage to bank some, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we manage to have the world we want around us without going in debt.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can see, if you pay attention, all you got to do is look around and see how stressed out people are trying to have more and more and more and more. They're trying, I think we talked about this yesterday, they're trying to fill a Jesus-sized hole. And the only one that's going to fill that is him. So
Yeah, what I love about what you're saying is that most people who want things will never find satisfaction.
yeah, universally.
Yeah.
Universally for every human being.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
So, what's the most important thing to you in life right now?
My relationship with Jesus Christ.
I'm definitely wanting to hear more about that.
Life changer.
When did this happen for you?
I grew up in church. I completely grew up in the church. When I was in my late teens, I left the church for all of my adult life, the whole thing. And I finally came to a point, and he was really the reason for my healing. And it was a miracle when I believe it was not only a spiritual miracle, but it was also a physiological miracle. When, the parable in the Bible where Jesus asks the cripple, "Do you want to be healed?" It wasn't a rhetorical question. It was, are you ready to be healed, to let go of whatever that is? And until you make that decision, you really let it go, that feeling was instantaneous, like electricity through my body.
Yeah.
And I was transformed and I was a different person. And that was my real experience. I had gone back and forth and wavered and go to church, not go to church, white picket fence Christian.
Yeah, I call it the TV clicker Christian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that part, not that, we'll move on,
And it's not, I'm not a religious person. Jesus wasn't a religious, he
Spiritual.
hated organized religion in the way that they were doing it.
Yes.
And so it's a very real relationship that I have with him now, that I never had before in my whole life.
Yeah. The metaphor of destroying the temple, very powerful.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Get these animals out of here.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to flip a few tables.
Yes, I do. Break those eggs. So it's really nice to know you on your path to growing up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And now I want to ask you, what would you like to leave in the world after your time is up?
I'd love for somebody to walk up to me in heaven and say, "I'm here because you weren't afraid to talk about Jesus."
Yeah. That's pretty intentional.
Yeah.
You'd be willing to have them come tap you on the shoulder and say,
"Yes,
I'm here and I'm having a great life because I listened to you for
Yeah.
a moment and got curious about what you meant."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't imagine anything better, really. And I hope I also leave some hearts that break that I am gone.
Yeah.
Because while I was here, I was good to them.
That was an intentional pause on my part. Just letting that sink in.
Yeah.
Anything more to say about any of that, or maybe, to tell people a little bit more definitely when it was that you really had this, what sounds like a breakthrough in your life
Probably November.
of last year?
Yeah.
Wow.
November, December. Yeah. Right in there. Yeah.
So you do not need to talk about it, but I'm sure that people can understand that you had a life-changing event,
Mm-hmm.
and your response to it was a higher level of responsibility and a commitment to Christ the Lord.
Yeah. Yeah. And not only that, joy that I have now. And, when people say peace that passes understanding, I'm not kidding. brand new. These are miracles happening in my life every day.
Yeah.
And I love sharing that. I'm not some person on the street corner saying you're going to hell. Boy, the Jesus I know, you got to meet this guy.
Yeah, he's
You
not
know,
a scorekeeper. No.
what a, you know, nobody is going to fill that longing that we all want, that feeling of being loved, like the one who created you. Nothing. We were created for a reason.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people who are Christian, or that say they have a relationship with God, and I don't know their hearts, but I do know when I said it before and when I say it now, it's two different human beings, two different lives, two different sets of what it is to be fully alive and free.
Very powerful. Thank you for sharing that in particular, along with everything else.
Mhm.
I do have another question for you, though, and I call this my baker's question. You being of Irish descent, you know that a good baker is always going to give you an extra free one.
Yeah.
Going to give you a free one. So, what would you say is the thing that most people misunderstand about you, Erin?
That I'm very old fashioned.
Please say some more.
Well, you wouldn't look at me and think there's an old fashioned girl, you know.
This much is true.
I am very old fashioned in so many different senses. Please and thank you. Yes, ma'am. No, no, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. Manners are extremely important to me. The way I view relationships, is is very old fashioned.
Yeah.
As well. And I believe in being a homemaker, not a housekeeper, a homemaker. And that the things you surround yourself with and should be a representation of who you are, who your family is, who you love. And that is something that I've always been. Right there is that.
Absolutely. How do you think most people view you?
I don't know, because it's none of my business.
I love that. You know who else said that? Anthony Hopkins.
Ah, yeah.
Other people think it's none of my business.
It's not.
So I think that's all the questions that I have for you right now. Do you have any questions for me?
Well, I would have to switch personalities to start thinking about that. So I don't, but how long before this project is finished?
I'm going to say when the creator puts the right 100 people in front of me.
Yeah.
I think we're somewhere up around 53 or 54.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine doing this with 50 beautiful human beings?
And you doing no. I mean, what a great thing, though.
It is for me too.
So interesting.
I'm getting my life out of this. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I love it.
I thank you so much for your time, Erin.
Yes.
Donahue.
Yes.
And I'm really looking forward to getting the feedback that we're going to get. And
I am
people
too.
enjoy this.
Yeah.
And thank you again for having me here. You've been very gracious. You made me a sandwich and everything. That was wonderful.
My pleasure.
So I'm going to just say my goodbyes to the folks out there. If you followed this at all, what you understand is we're doing this because we love people. And as a result of loving people, I want to give you some homework. When you get a moment, reach out to the friends in your life. Send them a text, an email, give them a telephone call, wrap a note around a rock and throw it through the window. Any way you can get it to them, just let them know that your life works because they're in it. And let them know that if they ever need you, that a phone call to you might make all the difference in the world. And if they're ever thinking about a last phone call, they definitely have to promise to be calling you. Simple questions for 100 people. This is our latest and greatest. Thank you all, and I love you. And I'll say one more thing. Go out and live your life, have a beautiful time, and then come back and tell us all about it. Bye for now.
You've been listening to Simple Questions for 100 People, part of the Xvadio Podcast Network. You can catch every episode of Simple Questions, plus the rest of the network, at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and wherever you find podcasts.